And we are live. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, happy time zones, wherever you might be. I'm Emma, and welcome back to the House of Hubris, here on twitch.tv/Sarasect. Happy gay Christmas to all who celebrate. It is Eurovision week, and we are back. Like, I'm not ruling out some other weird life thing coming up that means more hiatuses happen. But for now, we're here. And we're back with the Excavation of Barrow. As you can tell by the way that it says right next to me. One day I will figure out how to make this work with this camera angle. It says the words, is my point. Before we kick off, thanks to Charities Lady, and they're right there with the 28-month resub, which, frankly, it's wild to me that we've even been going that long. I mean, I know there's been a lot of weird breaks in there, so, you know, thanks for hanging with us. So, if you missed episode 1 of this, like, a week and a bit ago, it's a lot. This is another pixel art point-and-click game from Wadget Eye, who, you know, are pretty universally great. And, specifically, it's done in the... You just now noticed her reflection's different? Yeah, I had that moment while we were waiting to go live. Yeah, it's done in the aesthetic of horror, but particularly like British folk horror films of the 70s and 80s. Hence, this absolutely banging synth and guitar soundtrack. If you've seen The Wicker Man or anything like that, you'll know the kind of feel they're going for. We are playing as... Her name's Thomasina, right? I think it is. I can't remember her surname. We are, you know, archaeologist, except they don't use that word because it wasn't in common usage, because this is like the 1910s. We are investigating a small Yorkshire town whose name I forget. We've come to investigate a barrow that we've heard stories about, and everybody is denying it exists. So, warnings before we go in. Gaslighting, obviously, given that I just described that. And it's a horror game. There will be jump scares. I don't know, might be harm to animals, weird things, unpleasant things. I think there's gore in this, but obviously pixel art. And weirdly visceral close-ups of people's faces. Which... You wouldn't think that was a content warning people needed, but, for example, me. That is a thing for me, as has come up on this stream before, so, you know. It's nice to put it out there. What happened to us? We're going to invest... We're tracking down the person who sent us the letter about the barrow in the first place, because when we got to town he had disappeared. We went and saw a priest and had to find him vomiting in the woods. And I think that was about it. And hopefully this time I won't just personally die halfway through the stream, because it turns out, again, diverting into personal stories, but it turns out, when I was like, yes, I'm sure these new meds are helping, but I feel awful all the time, and my mood's in the toilet and I'm incredibly tired. It took a review by my psychiatrist to be like, hey, so maybe those meds aren't actually helping, and now I'm on different ones, and things are a lot better. So, let's see, shall we? Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into this instead. Oh! Yeah, we're having a flashback, aren't we? This is us as a kid going to visit our father in hospital. Cheery place to start. Mother?
Mommy?
Nope.
Mommy is crying.
Correct. And let's see how long it takes for me to forget that I have to click for dialogue to advance.
Daddy is sleeping.
I think Daddy is dead. Let's go poke him.
Wake up!
Good evening, Mr. Bateman.
Bateman.
Hello, little one.
That's the name.
You must be Thomasina?
Must I? Do you have any say in that matter?
Yes.
Oh, okay, apparently I am.
My name is Nurse Blaketon.
Blaketon, Bateman, everybody around this part of the country has the same name.
I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit.
Tell me, little one, do you know anything about probate law?
I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Can't you see I'm busy having a breakdown?
Will we ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
Oh, he's not dead.
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all.
Yikes.
But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst, ma'am. He will have a nurse by his side at all times.
Gonna guess stroke? Yeah. This is sounding like he's had a stroke.
I can assure you.
See? Weirdly visceral close-ups of
What
faces.
sort of God would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious ways, but he loves us all.
You say God loves us all, but my father died. Checkmate, religious people? Question mark. I am not taking an position on this debate. I am reffing. I didn't know whether that was folding arms or just kind of going... Just like, okay, well, I'm going to beat the crap out of this priest now.
Come along now.
Ah, yes, we walk across the moors to find the man.
Hello?
Priest just like, pay no attention to the mysterious child. I can't do a good Yorkshire accent, but, you know, the bad Yorkshire accent will continue to happen, because this game is full of them.
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors.
Oh, you know, the moor dwellers, the primitive civilization that sprung up in central Yorkshire. This isn't a thing.
I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewley.
Bewley, that's it. And see, uncommonly for English place names, Bewley there looks like it should be pronounced Bewley, as opposed to the actual place of Bewley, which is spelt B-E-A-U-L-I-E-U. It's just the French Beaulieu, and they've kept the spelling but decided to pronounce it Bewley because we're English and we know better, apparently. I feel like we're going to get lots of fun... Here's some fun facts about England throughout this game. Just from me.
I see. How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
I forgot he was called Mr. Shoulder.
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid.
Was it... What was his name? Like Ethan Shoulder?
But we'll get to him soon enough.
It was on the letter.
Take a look at this.
You know.
Legend has it that this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
Archaeologists thinking, how remarkable. I'm going to take it apart.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
Well, that's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Sure. Yeah, I've heard weirder names for things in this country.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
I thought that said, come now, coward. I need to learn to read.
We walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape.
Thomasina, this is your field of study, keep up, right? If you're going to specialise in, like, folk archaeology, you should listen to locals telling you things.
All the while, Father Roach was whistling away merrily.
Who am I kidding? Since when have English archaeologists ever listened to the locals about anything? Also, I'd forgotten he was called Father Roach, and now my brain is singing Last Resort again.
Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
I'm not getting over Mr. Shoulder in a hurry, I'll be real.
Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely,
Leonard.
this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Leonard Shoulder.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now, no need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However...
Oh yes, we had to bleed him. You remember that time we had to bleed a priest because he was feeling ill? As one does?
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. Duplancy about my little scene in the woods.
Don't worry, whenever I try and tell people about the time I bled a priest, they just look at me funny until I go away, so I doubt she'll mind.
She will only fret. The poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
With filthy gloves from the ground, yes, we are absolute heroes. Also, translators note fret means worry.
I shan't mention it.
Thank you. You'd better see if Mr. Shoulder is in.
Game saved. Can I just leave?
I've only just got here.
Oh, come on, Thomasini, you're no fun.
Father Roach still looks rather pallid.
That's just wearing all that black washes you out. But hey, chicken.
Here, chuk chuk chuk.
Don't encourage them.
Don't encourage the chickens to do what? Unionize? Peek in windows.
No sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned.
For long, it could be newly abandoned. Although, does abandoned not imply a certain timescale now I say that? Or are you newly abandoning your house every time you go to work? Can I steal his trousers?
The trousers feel damp.
No, but I can palpate his trousers.
Freshly hung? Or still wet from last night's rain?
I was about to say could be both. No. No, it couldn't. That's not how time works. This just tagged garment. This long underwear.
Slightly damp.
Which we will also palpate.
I have a similar one myself. So very warm.
Didn't need to know about this priest's thermal underwear, but here we are. And a glove. Oh, we have the other one.
Glove looks familiar.
We found the other one of these in
Matches
the alley.
glove I found behind the plough and furrow.
I bet it does. This is an adventure game. Can I? Glove. Use glove with glove.
The gloves are a pair.
The gloves are a pair.
Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night?
Or the gloves were mass produced. It's hard to say.
Why didn't he come inside to see me?
Steal some wood?
I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside.
Thomasini, you're no fun. I mean, what have you already got in your pockets? Like, okay, nothing particularly interesting. There's this necklace which we stole, I can't remember.
I think this might be genuine sterling silver.
Great. I think we stole it. What's this carving on the door? Anyway, we should probably
A
not.
carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon.
I mean, yeah, that's what it looks like from here.
Father, what do you make of this?
A peculiar adornment. I've not seen any like this in Bewley. Though it does remind me of a passage by the bard himself.
Really? We have things to do, but we're just going to let the priest start reciting Shakespeare.
It is the very error of the moon. She comes nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
I don't root around the outside of a new person's home for 20 minutes before knocking on their door. I mean, generally no, but I also generally don't knock on people's doors. Like, if I'm coming to your house, you probably know about it, and it doesn't happen often. Oh. Damn it, this is going to test my own knowledge. That sounded kind of Othello. Very error of the moon to come nearer earth than she will want and makes men mad. That sounds like an Othello quote.
Othello?
Precisely.
Yeah! Smart.
Your knowledge of the bard is presently flawless.
Thank you. Clip that. Sending that to my next quiz show application.
I consider myself to be well read, Father Roach.
It's delightful to meet a fellow bookworm, I must say.
That's me. wormiest. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, let's knock on the door, shall we? Now that we've established I'm good at quiz.
Mr. Shoulder?
Every time between his name being mentioned is just long enough for me to forget that he's called Leonard Shoulder.
Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewley as discussed.
I say disgust. You sent me a letter.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age.
Also, is it me, or anybody who's seen the Banshees of Inisherin? Doesn't this look like the house out of that?
Mr. Shoulder, are you home? It appears Mr. Shoulder is not at home.
That sounds like a euphemism for something. Broke, torn rotator cuff, woke, Mr. Shoulder is not at home. That shouldn't be nearly as funny to me as it is, but here we are. I mean, you didn't have to actually clip it, but thank you.
Perhaps you could try the handle.
So, we just go straight into breaking and entering. Cool.
It's locked.
Perhaps he's gone for a stroll.
Possibly.
Why do I sound so doubtful about that? People walk on the moors? That's a thing?
I'd suggest you call back later, my child.
It's only just struck me as well, the fact that we were reciting Othello on the moors.
I myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to at the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewley?
I'd like to look around further.
No, you go ahead, Father. Thank you.
I'm going to steal this man's chickens.
As you wish. Farewell, Miss Bateman. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
See, that's much easier.
Romeo and Juliet.
Correct.
Yeah, bit weird for a random priest to be quoting at you, but you know.
But I shall say good night till it be morrow. You've proven yourself to be an impeccable scholar of the bard, my child.
And got an achievement for it. Yeah.
Lord be with you.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, you've brought me to Bewley, and now you're nowhere to be found.
And I sound personally aggrieved by this. Can I open the window?
No sign of any movement. You're a sweet little thing, aren't you?
Okay, this has become more threatening by the fact that we followed the chicken off screen to do it. I have an achievement. The achievement art shows me carrying a chicken. I didn't get to see that. Okay,
You're a
now I
sweet
can.
little thing, aren't you?
Alas, it appears I cannot keep the chicken. Can I steal the other glove?
Mr. Shoulder must have dropped the matching glove last night.
No.
What was he doing in the alley? Rather rude of him not to come inside and see me.
Thomasina is just pissed at everybody at the moment. Screw this county in particular.
As I trudged back to Bewley across those cold moors, I made a new resolution.
Not to start accepting random invites from strangers?
I would find Hobbs Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder.
Can I pet the dog in your game? No, but you can get an achievement for being cute with a chicken. I mean, it's possible we can also pet a dog. Like, we'll need to find one first. And now we return to the
train.
memorial bed.
That must be Kenneth.
Oh yeah, and our assistant was coming with the rest of our luggage. That was a thing.
I should go and meet him at the station.
What's the plaque say?
Margaret's Lookout. I wonder who Margaret is. Or was.
No, it's actually just you've inserted a letter there. The plaque actually just says, "Margaret, look out!" Sit and bench and gaze at the moors. Do I have to click to get out of this, or is something going to happen? Oh, I got an achievement for sitting in the bench for long enough. Neat. This has lots of weird achievements in it, but then that feels very Wadget-eye. They do a lot of stuff like that. Let's see a Brit about excavating a sacred site. Are we stealing relics yet? You joke, but only because we can't find the site. We're back in the graveyard. What's this way? Fairy ring. Cool.
I'd better not touch them. They could be poisonous.
Also a portal to the Fey realm.
The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
But what if I want you to? Fine. Yeah, we would absolutely be stealing relics had we been able to find the Barrow, which nobody in town will admit exists. Also, there appears to be a fresh grave there, I just noticed.
This appears to be a recently dug, unmarked grave.
Cool, not threatening at all. Famed British tradition of getting lost on the way to stealing artifacts. Yep. I think we call it exploring. And then if we find anywhere, we take credit for its existence. Sounds like the townsfolk have heard what the English... The townsfolk are also English.
Do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
I'm an adventure game protagonist, you see, and trowel seems like a thing I might need.
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it.
I have decided.
Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Cool.
Of course, thank you.
It is more blessed to give than to receive.
Didn't ask. But hey, now we have a trowel. I'm going to go and dig up that fresh grave with a trowel.
I may be a barrow digger, but I am no grave robber.
They're the same thing! They're the same thing! Barrows and graves! Are they English in the English way or English in the colonial way? I mean, that very much depends who you ask, really. Yeah, you do definitely get some... Like, Yorkshire separatism and kind of exceptionalism is definitely a thing. Right, we need to find the train station. Which I think we go this way? Lots of these stone plaques all around. Also, yeah, Papa Roach was saying there weren't any... He hadn't seen any decorations like that in Pewley. They're everywhere. Does he not get out much? Only Rob's old graves once the body's nice and decayed. Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the justification, to be fair.
Where is Kenneth?
Where is Kenneth? Let's ask this ominous
He was
man.
supposed to wait for me at the station.
Oh, it's Arthur Tillett again. We met him before. I can't remember in what context. Was he the incredibly drunk man?
Mr. Tillett, where did you go last night?
Or was he... like, we followed him into the toilet and he disappeared?
Have we met?
Ah, the gaslighting continues.
Last night at the Plough and Furrow.
Oh, Miss Bateman. I were blind drunk last night.
Okay, he was the incredibly drunk one.
Stinking headache.
You still smell like a brewery.
I'm sorry.
You went to use the lavatory and never came back, Mr. Tillett. I searched everywhere for you.
I think I remember you bought me a drink.
So it's all my fault.
Then it's all a blur. I woke up in my bed this morning with my wife sour at me for waking her at some ungodly hour.
There is so much conversation to talk about with this possibly still drunk man.
About last night. What were you going to tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
Who?
Leonard Shoulder.
I say as if it's a perfectly normal thing.
You told me you knew him. And promised to tell me more if I bought you a drink.
That sounds like person who wants a drink talking.
Which I did. So what were you going to tell me?
I don't really know the old bugger.
But you said you did.
Again, very drunk people who want another drink will often say many things to get it.
Oh, aye. No, I know naught about him. No, naught about Leonard Shoulder.
This is sounding worryingly pointed, like, not suspicious at all.
You're hiding something, Mr. Tillett. I don't believe you.
Insert Will Ferrell gif here.
I say a lot of things when I've got the drink in me. I probably just wanted you to buy me an ale.
Damn it. Using the same argument I was just using. How dare you use my own words against me?
A likely story.
Look, what would I gain from lying to you?
A drink.
I just wanted another drink.
Oh, in this case. Not so much.
Even if that's the case, it doesn't explain your disappearance.
Aye. I don't remember out.
Translator's note out means anything. Most of these things you can probably get from context, but you know.
You really don't remember where you went last night?
As I say, it's all a blur. I remember needing a piss. Then nothing. Well, you must have missed me when I came out.
You ever just piss your own soul out? And I
did
don't know where I'm
not.
going with that joke.
I even went to the gents' toilets to find you.
Oh, aye. A sight for sore eyes.
It was.
That's not what that means. That's the opposite of what that means. You mean an eyesore? A sight for sore eyes is the opposite of that. That's when something is good.
I checked everywhere.
A sight for sore eyes is a welcome relief.
And you were nowhere to be found. The back door leading to the alleyway was blocked from the outside.
I mean, to be fair, a pub toilet is also usually a welcome relief if you're there.
Oh, aye.
Yes. You must have exited through that door, Mr. Tillett.
But you just said it were blocked.
There must be an explanation.
I mean, mileage may vary depending on the pub, yeah, but, like, if you're in the pub looking for the toilet, you're generally in a state where a toilet will be a welcome relief. And also, there must be an explanation, yeah, if it was blocked after he left.
My mind has drawn a blank.
Why was the door blocked? Did you block it?
I told you I don't remember. I've naught to say 'cause I remember naught.
Everything happens at the same time forever. Okay. Well, that looks like the end of the stream then. Let's talk about this completely normally named man.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house, but he wasn't home.
Don't worry. You'll find him.
See, that's more threatening.
How's your headache faring?
It feels like a steam engine is driving full pelt in a circle around me skull.
Be sure to drink plenty of water, Mr. Tillett.
Now even the game's telling me to hydrate. What is this?
Aye. I'll survive.
So, you work here?
Yep, I saw that hydrate alert coming. For I'm very intelligent, and also it wasn't hard.
Aye. Bewley Station Master at your service. Would you like to buy a ticket?
Not just yet, thank you.
Especially because I've got no money, because my assistant was meant to be bringing it all.
I understand that some of the locals are not too happy about this new station.
Aye. I'd go as far as saying the whole village.
How long has the station been open for?
About 3 months. We're on the Midland Railway line. This employment's been a saviour for me. If I weren't stood here, I'd be drinking my life away at the pub right now. It's worth the occasional withering look from Cyril and the rest of them.
I mean, that didn't have to be the train station. That could be literally any job. Maybe it's because you're American, but this guy's accent feels all over the place. No. Like, it's not a very strong Yorkshire accent, but I've heard plenty of Yorkshire people who sound pretty much like this. I mean, he's kind of nearly on to sounding like Jake Thackeray, who is the most iconically Yorkshire person ever. And hey, Americans, you are unlikely to have heard of Jake Thackeray, and indeed, UK viewers, you are unlikely to have heard of Jake Thackeray, because I'm forever evangelizing him. But hey, look him up. He's just... he has such a voice. Singer-songwriter, Yorkshire, like, 60s, 70s. Kind of iconically lugubrious voice, incredibly dry humour. He's brilliant. Very much in the tradition of French chansonnier.
What does a station master do?
Masters the station.
A bit of this and a bit of that.
See, my answer was better.
I don't wish to bore you with such things.
I just asked!
As you wish.
No? Okay.
My responsibilities here keep me on the straight and narrow, I'll tell you that much.
Because it's train track. He's a Yorkshire Bob Dylan. He's better than Bob Dylan. Hot take.
Sense of duty can do wonders for a lost soul.
Indeed. This must be a rather lonesome post to occupy.
Just mentioned style, yeah. Yeah, no, I get where you were going. I just felt like being unnecessarily incendiary. I say unnecessarily incendiary as though I wasn't telling the truth, which I was.
Trains pass through here more regularly than you might think, lass.
Well... Really? Do you not have a timetable? If there's a train timetable, I'd hope trains pass through exactly as often as I might think. 'Cause you'd tell me when they were. This is the best train station ever.
I'm looking for
Anyway.
my assistant, Kenneth.
We've lost a man.
Oh, aye.
His train has arrived.
Not a single soul disembarked the last train, Miss Bateman.
Anyone without a soul? 'Cause, you know, Kenneth, we've wondered.
Impossible. Was that not the midday train from London by way of Derby?
Aye, it were. Mr. Price were here, unloaded a few crates.
No, I kind of see what you mean about his accent wandering a bit, and it is. Because I bet there aren't a whole... a massive stable of voice actors with authentic Yorkshire accents, and it is a hard one to master. But hey, whatever, I'm not here to critique. Travesty that we call Q's lines in the States. I mean, we call them that here as well. Because lines go both ways, so technically Q's are rays. Yeah?
But no Kenneth.
Not a soul. Hold on. One of them crates had your name on it, Miss Bateman.
Does it have Kenneth in it?
A great big one it were, with...
A red ribbon.
Aye.
What is Kenneth playing at, sending my equipment but not himself? Curses.
Don't count your chickens yet. Or, you know, steal them.
Where is my crate now?
Mr. Price took away all the crates on his cart.
Who?
Who? To where? So many questions.
Mr. Price, he's the postmaster.
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom, just north of the plough and furrow.
Maybe Kenneth was murdered and hidden in the luggage car. It's feeling that way.
You'll see it. There's a Royal Mail plaque on the wall.
Our protagonist has no imagination. Yeah, she seems to be that kind of very strictly rationalist, kind of colonial scientist who any imagination would just detract from the science of it all.
Thank you.
Anyway, can you tell me about the thing nobody's telling me about?
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
Hobbs Barrow.
It's why Leonard Shoulder invited me to Bewley. He thought I might like to excavate it.
Oh, aye. I heard about a Hobbs Barrow somewhere out there. There's some old stories around it.
What stories?
Ooh, stories. Finally, we are listening.
I can't remember.
We listened for that.
Mr. Tillett, please. This is important.
I'm awfully
Is it?
sorry, Miss Bateman. I'll try to remember.
Is any of this actually important? We're just gallivanting.
If he invited you here, then I'm sure Mr. Shoulder will tell you all about it.
Man, everyone claims to not know a place people claim doesn't exist. This has a Whisper of the She all over it. I mean, yeah, that's the folk horror aesthetic. Being gaslit by a village full of country folk is a core thing of the whole genre, and it's very much tied in with traditions of the Fae.
That's if I ever get to meet him.
I'm sure you will.
Ominous.
Farewell for now.
Ta-ra!
Ta-ra. Which is a very Northern English way of saying goodbye. Cat! A cat that left before we could interact with it. Hello, Cyril. Incredibly old, Slavic-looking man.
Good day to you, Cyril.
I'll do, lass.
What are you up to, Cyril?
Keeping an eye on that bleeding railway station. That's what.
What, in case it does something?
Thankfully, no one got off the last train.
Really hate that station, don't you?
Oh, I curse Midland Railway for bringing their damn line through Bewley. This is our town, our land. 'Tis no place for outsiders.
So you keep saying.
Anyway, no more trains today. Almost time to celebrate with an ale, I think.
You say no more trains today, but I'm assured they come through more often than you might think.
I could do with one myself.
You paying?
No.
To do with a drink, I had to
Aye.
bleed a priest.
Ta-ra, lass.
So just north of the Plough Ferry, you say? Can I steal this bucket yet?
The bucket is rusty and full of holes.
That didn't answer my question. Is this the...
The sign is in a shabby state, but the shop appears to be a cobbler's.
As opposed to saying that it appears to be cobblers, which would mean a quite different thing. Can I buy shoes?
No one here.
Nobody answers their door in this town. Okay, so this is... Oh, no, that's the Plough Furrow. What's this?
Quite a fine building indeed.
Okay, that's what it is. Anyone in the fine building?
I don't think anyone is home.
Anywhere in the world.
That must be the postmaster's storeroom.
Presumably you're a postmaster.
Hello?
Good day. I haven't seen you in Bewley before.
What's that accent?
I'm just visiting.
Lovely.
You're a lot more Midlands than Yorkshire.
It's nice to see a new face. We don't get many visitors.
Sound like you come up from Derby.
My name's Henry. Henry Long.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Thomasina Bateman.
Wonderful. What a treat.
You seem in a good mood, Mr. Long.
It's just lovely to see a new face.
Which is worse? You go to a country village and everyone gaslights you because they don't like outsiders. Or you come to a country village and they are all really, really interested in there being outsiders.
Where are you from, Miss Bateman?
I mean, sure.
Originally, a small town on the outskirts of Derby, Mr. Long.
Oh, she's from the Midlands as well. I thought she'd be southern.
Though I currently reside in London.
Yeah, and have... This is very... I was born in Derby, and then I moved to London and remodelled my entire personality around it.
London.
The latter is making sure you don't have family and friends to worry about you if you go missing. Yup. Or you have arrived to take part in some kind of folk ritual you don't know about is the usual one.
I've never met anyone from London. How very exciting. Have you lived there a long time?
It's been quite a few years now, yes.
I've heard that the air there is so heavy with smoke, it makes it hard to breathe.
Is this our immediate topic of conversation? Just everybody with the respiratory conditions?
Is that true?
Some days.
Oh, you must miss the fresh northern air.
Raises big questions about whether he's implying Derby is in the north, which... Let me tell you, if you don't know British people from, like, the Midlands / the north, very contentious where that boundary lies. Generally, if you refer to something as the north to people who are from there, they'll be like, oh, this isn't the north. Yes, your mom's boyfriend's from Mountain Mowbray, you have mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, just implying, because my mum's from Derbyshire, and has opinions on us referring to that as the north. Being like, this isn't the north, this is the Midlands. Like, Newcastle's the north, and then you go to Newcastle, and they're like, this isn't north, this is the Midlands, Yorkshire's the north. And you go to Yorkshire, and they're like, go away, but also Northumberland's the north, except this is the north, the proper north. Thought so, it is absolutely hammering it down outside. Sometimes that affects our internet, so we shall see.
Well, you've got that in Bewley.
But apparently here we acknowledge that this is the north.
No factories out here.
Yet.
Such things are a blight on his creation.
Oh. The only good thing out of the north is the A1. Wow. Yeah, solid cut. Although, now I've said it, yeah, I was quoting chat. Everyone knows when I say things with that voice while looking in this direction, I'm quoting chat. Time to clip it and use it for libel. Libel is in print. But yeah, no, I can't say anything bad against the north, because depending on who you ask, a lot of my family are from there, although more accurately the Midlands. And then, my siblings' side of the family, my sister-in-law and her family are all very much from Newcastle, and also have opinions about that being the north, but I can't really insult the region, and now they're living in Northumberland, so... Let's move on, shall we?
I were born in this very home I stand in front of. Bewley is in my blood. Why would I ever want to leave? Especially now I can meet new folk thanks to the railway line.
Oh, you like the railway?
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
Oh, Mr. Price, my lovely neighbour. I'm afraid you've just missed
As
him.
opposed to this tree, my awful neighbour. Emma teaches UK social geography stream when... Now. I'm torn there between don't tempt me and good luck with that, because my British geography is bad. It's very bad. And I would say a lot of things that would be flagrantly incorrect and also make a lot of people very angry. Oh, not true geography, just perceptions of geography. I mean, even those, for me, very bad. But hey, maybe. Who knows? I'll just start a sub-series where I do seminars on living in the UK and get everything wrong, and then have to leave the country, and then my plan will have succeeded.
Curses.
I saw him wheeling a large crate into his storeroom just there.
Yeah, it's mine.
It must be mine. I really need it.
Have a look through the window to see if it's yours.
Where did Mr. Price go?
I don't know. The man were in a hurry. I know he has family in Bakewell.
Emily. Also, no, not on this channel.
That's miles away. Did he leave by foot?
No, by horse. He must be a few miles down the road.
Have you
by
met
now.
me? And if you're watching this on YouTube and can't see chat, good.
Curses. When will Mr. Price be back?
He didn't say. Could be tonight, could be a few days.
How infuriating.
This is the worst postmaster in the world. You'd think being in town regularly would be a necessity for maintaining a good postal system, but here we are.
I told him I'd keep watch of his storeroom, and I'm a man of my word, Miss Bateman. I shall not budge from this spot.
Ever?
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, funny old fellow.
I know, he's named Leonard Shoulder.
I hear he lives way out on the moors somewhere.
Have you seen him recently?
Buy him a drink, see if he budges then? Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
Or is he just standing behind that wall so we don't see the nappy?
Not for a long while now that you mention it. Why do you ask?
It's a long story, but I was to meet him in Bewley. He invited me here.
Well, I must thank him when I see him for inviting such an enchanting young woman.
Creepy.
You flatter me, Mr. Long.
Standing beside there so we can't see his deer legs because he is one of the Fae. Also very possible.
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
One of those old burial hills.
Yeah, that's what a barrow is.
Yes. Do you know where it is?
Believe it or not, I haven't set foot on the moor since I were a child.
What, is the wall just covering the bit where he's bolted to the wall? Is this the only place he can be?
Why is that?
You live... Like, we can see the moors from your house.
I've got all I need right here in Bewley.
It's actually one of those fortune teller machines. Yeah. Yeah, just... I think everything featuring fortune teller machines would be better if they were just infuriatingly chipper and I was about to say Scottish. From Yorkshire.
And we're all truly blessed with the railway station, which brings us lovely new faces.
Your opinion of the railway station differs widely from your fellow townsfolk, Mr. Long. I've not met anyone particularly keen on it.
That railway line is the start of a new era for Bewley. Mark my words.
What even... For... Yeah, Yorkish isn't a phrase. I don't think there is an adjective. It's just... Or it's just Yorkshire. Used kind of in opposition to things. But yeah, I don't think there is really an adjective.
There's much to protect here, but we need new blood.
Okay, cool. You're making it more ominous.
I hope that some of you visitors will actually stay here permanently.
Yep, you're just saying the quiet part out loud now.
Why is that?
So I have new friends to talk to.
Cool. That was a really threatening laugh.
Some people here don't want any new friends. Cyril Farnaby, the miserable old sod, is the worst offender.
That is his official title in town, Miserable Old Sod. You know how Village Idiot was a thing? Well, so was Town Miserable Old Sod.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Cyril.
Yeah, but Yorkshireman isn't an adjective. Yorkie, I suppose, but I think there's a distinction to be drawn there between, like... I would say that was more people from York rather than Yorkshire at large. I feel like if you called a person from Sheffield a Yorkie, they'd have opinions on that.
He really dislikes the railway station.
Absolutely miserable he is. I've tried to convince him many times that the station will help Bewley. He just doesn't understand.
I met him last night in the Plough and Furrow.
Aye, the scene of our many debates. Blimey, I could go for an ale right now, actually.
Can I buy you a drink?
Oh, we can actually do this.
Really?
No. Wait. Do you think Mr. Kemp will let me open a tab?
No.
Perhaps. You could always ask him.
Yeah, I also called this.
I shouldn't leave anyway. Mr. Price is relying on me.
But then, to be
keep
fair,
watch of his story.
I've played an adventure game in my time.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger.
Awkward man will not leave watch over something that you need to get into is just standard trope. What's this
Royal
plaque?
Mail, Postmaster's Residence.
Cool. That told us most of the things we learned from that conversation.
This must be the local post office.
Look in the window.
There's
That's
my
the one.
crate. Kenneth always ties a red ribbon to it.
That's a really long ribbon.
I can see an envelope tucked behind the ribbon. Perhaps it can help explain Kenneth's absence. I'm going to have to get in there.
The postmaster isn't home.
But my crate is in there.
You'll have to wait for Mr. Price to get back.
I thought, what? What just happened to, well, look in the window and see if it's yours? I thought that implied we would take some action if it was. Look in the window and see if it's yours, just so you know what you're missing. Yeah, so I need to get this man beer so that he needs to go and pee. Let's go and see the beer shop. Hello, Stanley.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mr. Kemp, but could I please open a tab?
Still not in your purse?
I'm afraid not. My assistant hasn't arrived as planned, so I find myself in a bind.
I need your beer to make this man urinate.
He must have put the money in my crate, which is currently being held in Mr. Price's storeroom.
Well, as you know, I run an honest establishment here, and I do trust you.
Excellent.
So yes, I'll open an account for you.
That went easier than I expected.
To be settled at the end of your stay.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Was one of those plaques above the bar pink before?
Now then, I'll be needing something of value.
I
as a
can't remember.
deposit.
I thought you said you trusted me.
Aye. It's not personal, lass. One can never be too cautious.
There's not no children in this town. There's a child with a sword literally right outside.
How can I open a tab again?
Leave me an item. I'll
Yeah.
get back to you when it will be time to pay the piper.
Cool. Threatening.
Goodbye.
See you.
What about this silver necklace I possibly stole? Am I sure that's a child? Fair point.
Will you accept this silver cross pendant as a deposit?
Can I take a closer look at it?
Sure thing.
Aye, silver. That'll do.
How can you tell? You're not even... Are you looking at the hallmark? Were standardized hallmarks even a thing at this point? Or are you just like, yeah, looks like silver to me?
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Can I get you something to drink?
A tankard of your finest ale, Mr. Kemp.
Yes, good beer. Hydrate and stretch,
There we
yes.
are. That's 2 pence on your account.
Oh, for the days when you could get a pint for 2 pence. Because this is pre-decimal, and also rather a lot of inflation. I mean, like... What year is this? I think we're in, like, the 10s? Yeah, that's not unrealistic.
Thank you.
No, I
Most agreeable.
don't drink the beer. I had the beer to give to the... No?
Goodbye.
See you.
A decorative plate. This one depicts a bull.
Was it always pink?
I don't wish to take it.
Oh. Okay, so now we've established I can just get beer. What, do I have to go over there and offer him beer again? In dialogue? Well, that's... oh yeah, there's this incredibly loose grave-digging man. Forgot about him.
Hello? I really must find Hobbs Barrow.
What did I tell you last time? Not to be found digging around in those things.
Goodbye.
There are.
Okay. That produced nothing. Okay, we'll go and talk to the Post-Sentinel again, but we will do it after a break. Hey, I need to run some ads for a few minutes, so, you know, you should go and have a tankard of your finest ale yourself, or, you know, drink something at least. Have a snack, take your meds if you still need to, this is your reminder. And let the ads run, and I will be back in, like, 3 minutes to carry on working out what the hell we're doing. Alright, love you all. See you in a few. And we're back. Hello again, everyone. Sorry for the slightly longer than planned delay. I assure you the reason for that was staggeringly nerdy. But yeah, here we are, back in the north, where life is cheap and beer cheaper. So, I can get you free beer. I didn't bring any with me, but you know.
Hello.
Good day.
Can I buy you a drink, Henry?
Really?
Really? We can talk more at the inn.
But I told Mr. Price I'd keep watch of his storeroom.
But you know, beer.
Doors have locks for this very reason.
Wow, the sass.
You're right. One drink won't take long. I shall take you up on your offer, Miss Bateman.
Let us make our way.
And then, while you're away, there will be a burglary, and it'll be all your fault. And you will leave Yulie in shame.
Only design, you know.
Oh god, he's talking to us about trains. She has my sense of humour, yeah, sadly.
Before that, there were the Blucher and the Locomotion. But my favourite would have to be the Lancashire Witch.
And then she'll gaslight him, because that's what people do around here.
I believe he built that in 1828. In Newcastle, of course.
Much as I complain that this man is now talking to me about trains, I really can't argue. I can't criticize the urge to corner someone with a drink and then info dump at them for a while.
Well, that's me. I better be off.
What, we're just going to stand in the doorway, speed drink our beer while you talk about trains?
Wait.
Ta-ra, Miss Bateman.
I couldn't even get a word in.
He likes a good chinwag, our Henry.
He certainly does.
What, do we have to poison the beer? Can we poison the beer? Tell me of Henry.
Henry Long can talk, can't he?
Correct.
He's a colourful character. The man drinks like a fish.
He certainly does.
I've seen him drink this place dry and still be up to tend his garden at sunrise.
Roofing the mail sitter, quite possibly.
The man can truly hold his ale.
Do you have anything to tell me about other
I
things?
found Mr. Shoulders home, thanks to the help of Father Roach.
Wonderful. So you've met our vicar then?
Don't know if you can hear that, but wow, somebody's driving an incredibly loud motorcycle.
Yes, I did. An interesting character.
Very into new metal.
Indeed. So, did old Leonard apologise for his absence?
Not quite. He wasn't home.
What is that man playing at?
Learn more than just the accent while living in London. I mean, yeah, look at her. The woman is shaped by the colonial spirit.
You tell me. I've decided to find Hobbs Barrow without Mr. Shoulders' aid.
Are you sure that's a wise idea, lass?
Nope.
What other choice do I have? I have a feeling he is avoiding me.
I mean, you could leave. There's a train.
Do you know where I can find the Barrow?
No, sorry. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
Saying I say that on my mother's grave sounds like you are saying it while standing on your... Is your mother buried behind the bar? I mean, props if she is. That's kind of metal.
My assistant has not arrived as planned.
Oh, is everything all right?
Great question. Next question.
I'm not entirely sure.
Am I to keep a room for him just in case?
If you could hold it for one more night, Mr. Kemp.
As you wish.
Goodbye.
And soon she realised that when he was saying as you wish... No.
See you soon.
Assume the mothers of all pub landlords are either buried below the bar or in the attic. I mean, yeah. You know, property prices. So, how do you bury someone in the attic? That seems impractical. That's, like, quite far from the ground. Did you build a mausoleum in the attic? Out of random junk? Yeah, just all the stolen artifacts in the attic. Here we have our room. See, these plates are everywhere.
I've too much to do today to waste time sleeping.
Ah. Candlestick, chest, and there's nothing in here. I should leave. Mausoleum in an attic sounds like a great National Trust property. I mean, honestly, yeah. So, can we do something to the beer so that he will drink it and have to go and vomit or
I
something?
suspect the barrels are empty. Otherwise, the locals would be rolling them into their cellars.
Can you check?
Sturdy-looking barrels, no doubt used to store ale.
Add Ipecac to the beer. Wow, we're just jumping straight to the nuclear option.
I'd rather not go into those horrible toilets again. I can't reach the window from down here.
Okay, so what are we doing? We have these things. I don't... Milk of magnesia, yeah. See? It definitely is a child. Look, the interaction prompt says child. Case in point. Child.
Hello?
Yes?
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Douglas?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Douglas.
Can people stop showing their colon in chat? It's, you know, pretty sure that's against TOS.
That's a great sword technique you have.
Thanks, miss. Mr. Crozier's gonna make me a real one when I turn 12. I'm preparing myself to fight the lantern worm.
Ah, back in the day when all of Northern England, like all the villages, would have their regional legendary dragons. It's a thing.
What is the lantern worm?
It's gonna come back and get us all.
Ah, now I'm having vivid... You ever just something throws you into vivid flashbacks to a book you read when you were a kid that's... like... You realise suddenly in retrospect how formative it's been and that you haven't thought about it in years. Nah, not The Darkest Rising. I think about The Darkest Rising regularly. That's not surprising, and nor is it that deep a cut. No, this is Inside the Worm. I can't remember who it was by, but it was about a, like, children's community theatre group, children's or teenagers community theatre group, doing a play about one of these, like, Midlands local dragons, and, like, they made this big dragon costume that they'd all kind of get in and operate together, and over time the legend started seeping into real life, and the people who were operating the worm kind of they kind of started thinking as a Gestalt entity because they were embodying the spirit of it. And in retrospect, it probably ties in a lot to my whole kind of thing about masks and embodiment of the numinous and ritual magic. I should look that book up. Who knows? Maybe it'll hold up. Probably won't. It was really good. I remember it being really good. I was like 11. So take that with a pinch of salt because, you know, past me, idiot, children, idiots, child me, double idiot. You know how it is.
John Lantern thought he killed it at the River Ware.
Do they pronounce it like that locally? Because I think sometimes it's pronounced the where, and sometimes, but more often you hear it pronounced the where.
But my father told me it still lives. We must all be prepared.
It's the second book in a series? I do not remember that. Huh.
The lantern worm isn't real, Douglas. Father just told you that to get you out of his hair.
Not true. I saw it slithering out by the beck. Like a giant eel it were.
Huh. To be fair, also, I mean, I didn't realise The Ducks Rising was part of a series when I first read it, so... You know. We learn.
I ran home so fast I thought I would fly.
Anyway, there's this traumatised child.
Sorry, miss. My brother has a vivid imagination.
So it was like a big eel. Have you considered that in the river, perhaps, there was a big eel?
Children often do at his age.
And at the end of the book, when it gave you the list of the other books in the series, yeah, the edition I read did not have that.
I'll keep training.
To my knowledge.
You will all thank me when I thrust my sword deep into its fat belly.
Douglas, this lady doesn't want to hear your nonsense.
If I didn't want to hear nonsense, I wouldn't have started talking to this child.
Do you like living in Bewley?
And I will continue to do so.
Yeah, I do. Are you from the city?
I'm from a long way away.
It depends what you mean by the city.
You must have come on the train.
That's generally how it works.
I love watching all the steam puff up into the sky.
Have you been on the train yourself?
No, miss. Our parents don't have the money for train tickets. Father says we have all we need here in Bewley.
Is your father Henry Long?
Perhaps this nice lady would like to take you away with her on the train.
Wow.
No, I need to stay and protect Bewley from the lantern worm.
Do you know a man called Leonard Shoulder?
Just like, hi, would you like to abduct my annoying brother, I think?
That's a funny name.
Thank you, finally somebody acknowledges it. I know I just said children were idiots, but this child knows what's up. Everybody gaslighting me into thinking that Leonard Shoulder is a completely normal name, but no. There's this cool book once about a guy escaping Egypt, cursing everyone left behind with templates. I see what you did there.
Mr. Crozier shouldn't be promising such things.
Look, you don't just come to Yorkshire and tell the local men to stop giving children swords.
Don't you think 12 years of age is a little young for a real sword?
Oh. Damn, finger twitch. I didn't see the comeback. Damn.
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow. Do you know where it is?
What's that?
A local burial mound.
Our parents don't let us wander far from the village.
What's a burial mound?
Okay, no, I'm revising my stance back to idiot. It's a mound in which one is buried. It's in the words.
Don't you mind about that, Douglas?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Hello.
Good day.
Now I've bought you a drink. Care to reconsider the whole male sentinel thing?
Can I buy you another drink?
I suppose one more ale won't hurt. I shall take you up on your offer, Miss Bateman.
Let us make our way.
The rear wheels are powered by...
Oh no, he's talking about trains again.
The boiler had 2 flue tubes.
Wow.
2!
Wow.
There were nothing like it. Well, that's me. I better be off.
Yeah, so clearly we can just keep doing this, but we need to set something up so that he doesn't instantly recover.
Wait.
Ta-ra, Miss Bateman.
Or do we just keep buying him,
I'm starting to feel somewhat tipsy.
Yeah, we should probably stop
I'm
drinking
here to
ourselves.
excavate Hobbs Barrow, not Hobbs Barrels.
Oh, and I got an achievement for that pun. Maybe I can tell this man to fight him when he comes back.
Good day, sir.
No, no,
Good day, sir.
just straight blind. Cool, great. So yeah, Henry can hold his beard better than us, so we can't just keep bringing him back here.
I must say, last night has rather put me off using these toilets. I've no use for ashes.
Stanley, would you consider poisoning the
Nothing else
beer?
I wish to discuss at the moment.
No? Okay.
I'm not hungry at the moment.
Okay. There's a bell.
Pulling the bell would be quite unbecoming of me.
Also funny, though.
Pulling the bell.
Okay. I am not sure where this is going now. So we can go out to the moors. Oh. Don't think we've been this way, have we?
This young fellow looks miserable.
Cool, let's go and pester him. It's Wally, apparently. Oh, hey, we found him.
Hello, Wally.
Yeah?
My name's Thomasina.
Oh, have we met him before? I can't remember.
How are you?
Go away!
You sound Scottish.
Do you know a man called Leonard Shoulder?
No,
Have you heard of a place called Hobbs Barrow?
no.
Goodbye.
Okay. Well, let's go and interfere with this house. And accidentally finger switch, skip through time.
Nobody home.
Nobody ever answers their door around here. It's disgusting. A walk to the exit.
The road disappears over the horizon. I see nothing but moorland.
Okay, yeah. The moors, they are an uncountable wilderness. Also, I can skip to the exit of places. I need to remember this. There's the alley out back, but there doesn't seem to be a great deal I can do. So I have glove, trowel, matchbox. What does my to-do list say? Explore Bewley, look at House Barrow, find a way into the storeroom. Okay. So just the obvious. Huh. Well, let's keep looking around. Betty, how are you?
Good day.
Hello, miss.
Are you sure you know nothing of Hobbs Barrow? I really must find it.
I'm sure.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
Denied. What about Mr. Crozier? Mr. Crozier?
Good day.
Yes?
I noticed your spectacular
Oh
fossil
yeah,
specimen.
hung up by the door.
Oh, I collect them. This one is called an...
Ammonite.
I'm impressed, lass.
Wow, she is me. We're just going around being like, hey, do you want to know a fact? I know facts. Sounds like it's taken you more than 0.2 seconds to recall that fact. Guess I'd better help.
From the Jurassic period, I'd venture.
Nobody asked!
Thank you.
Do you collect them too, then?
My true interests lie in comparatively modern history.
Oh, well, I do love a fossil. It's important to remember that we all end up in the soil eventually.
Quite.
You know what I like to look at fossils and think about is death.
Are you sure you don't know where Hobbs Barrow is?
Sorry, lass.
Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Hello?
Just gonna talk to people and see what happens.
Father Roach asked me not to discuss that with Mrs. Duplancy.
Looks like we're trying to go Lovecraftian. Elder One in the River. Yeah. I mean, I like the genre, even if Lovecraft can entirely die in a hole. Ooh. Oh, we said we wouldn't talk to Mrs. DeFlancy about Papa Roach's health, but do we want to be nosy anyway? Yeah, can die in a hole, and did. I think... Well, we've literally come to this town to be nosy.
Father Roach seems rather under the weather, don't you think?
Father Roach? The man is as fit as a lad half his age. What makes you say that?
I found him in the woods in a state of considerable distress.
Oh my.
I had to stab him with a shard of glass. It was pretty metal.
This is very worrying. I must check on him later. I had no idea.
Well, that didn't help at all. Achievement unlocked, Scandal Monger. Wow, game is calling me out.
Are you sure you don't know where Hobbs Barrow is?
Hobbs, what?
Never mind. Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Unlikely. I desecrate to the job. Let's look in the church.
It's locked.
That door, locked. Just so you know. This door, not locked. What do we have in here? Oh yeah, this is where I stole the cross from, isn't it?
The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them.
Anything else I can interact with? Windows, pews, another window down there.
Time for such things.
Can't be bothered with the altar because I'm too devoted to science. Look, Thomasina, sometimes it's okay to just appreciate nice architecture. Yeah, we have a crossroads in our life. What's this way? This way is into the depth past Cyril. Into the depths, into the background. You know what I mean. Into the depths. Here's where we bled a priest. There was a squirrel. Red squirrels in Yorkshire? Was that... Would that have been a thing back then? Because, I mean, it's not really an area for them nowadays. I don't know when grey squirrels were introduced particularly. And then proceeded to, you know, murder all the natives.
I've no desire to go rooting about in there.
Because, you know, really embodying the true English spirit.
I shall see you later this evening, gents.
Hello, new people.
Well, I say. Greetings, my dear.
Goodbye.
Hello, sir.
A pause on your beauty, for I shall see you again soon.
Let's never see this man again. Grey squirrels were introduced as early as 1876. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they very swiftly murdered the native population of red squirrels. And that's why the main place to get, you can still see red squirrels, is on the Isle of Wight, because grey squirrels couldn't get there. And that's where I got this one. I believe, at least. I think I picked her up at the Isle of Wight because it was a whole thing that we never actually saw a real one. Her name is Jenny. She's very cute. There's a whole website dedicated to saving red squirrels. Oh yes, that is a whole environmental thing over here. Everybody loves red squirrels. And, like I say, most of them murdered. But yeah, so there's a whole conservation and reintroduction thing that's been going on for years. And like I say, by the 40s there was still a population of red squirrels in Yorkshire. Oh, okay, nice. This is a completely inconsequential point, but thank you for the information. Because this is the kind of thing I get distracted looking up as well. But yeah, we used to go to the Isle of Wight every year, and we never ever did see one. Running joke in my family that they're actually just a myth. But hey, at least I have a stuffed one. Anyway, this creepy man, who thinks he's Mr. Darcy. And then he disappears. We didn't want to draw him fading into the background. No, he'll just disappear.
Lady, you're blushing.
Didn't ask.
I most certainly am not.
Hello, man.
Sorry, lass. No way through here today.
Says who?
Lord Panswick.
Was that Lord Panswick? And could I taunt him about being called Lord Panswick? Full disclosure, I had to Google where Yorkshire was in the UK. Yeah, that's fair.
Now get back before you find yourself under a falling tree.
I have so many things to ask you about, though.
My name is Thomasina Bateman.
Nobody asked.
Oh, aye?
Just like, sure, it might be.
You're not from round here, Thomasina Bateman.
No, just visiting.
Could you tell by the way I sound the most colonial Southern England person ever to have lived?
What is your name, sir?
Horace.
Are you in charge here?
I am indeed.
Tell me, who was that arrogant man here just now?
Just someone passing by.
I'm not convinced that's true.
It sounded like you knew him better than that.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's none of your business.
Yes, this is a thing people should say to Thomasina more, I feel.
What are you doing here?
Cutting trees.
What does it look like I'm doing? We're chopping down trees.
See, Horace gets it.
There is no need to be sarcastic.
We're employed by Lord Panswick. He's ordered us to gather logs from his woods. That's what we're doing.
These are his woods.
Aye, his lordship owns most of the land round Beoley.
What do we reckon Thomasina's opinion on land ownership is going to be? Oh, we're not even approaching that any further. Okay.
Who is Lord Panswick?
Our governor.
There, you see, not proper Yorkshire, because he put a middle syllable in governor. Governor. I refuse to believe any actual person from Yorkshire wouldn't just pronounce it governor.
He's the governor of the whole town.
See? Thank you.
All right, Owen, back to work now.
He lives in Bewley.
Aye, not far away. But his lordship doesn't like questions. Or visitors. Now, please leave us to our work.
But what about visitors with questions? Does that cancel itself out? I think so. Is it that he doesn't like visitors' or questions?
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No, I don't.
Does anybody know a man named Leonard Shoulder? Does such a man exist?
Can you let me get back to my work now?
No.
Why are you gathering logs for Lord Panswick?
By heck, you ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
If you must know, his lordship is repairing an old ruin on his land. We need the timber for the restoration work.
How intriguing. What type of ruin is Lord Panswick restoring?
An old chapel.
I should rather like to see it.
Ruined chapel? Tick that one off your folk horror bingo cards.
Not possible. His lordship does not welcome visitors to his estate.
Oh, bold of you to assume he'd have to know.
Do you know where I can find a place called Hobbs Barrow?
Never heard of it.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be done by tomorrow morning. Come back then if you want to explore the woods.
We're just time gating because this is an adventure game. Fair enough. Can I dig up this burrow? Excavation of Mole's Burrow. Hot take, his lordship is the worm. Yeah, I mean, they never said Lord Panswick wasn't a giant eel, so, you know.
That's a peculiar idea.
Wow, way to judge, lady! See, this is where I realised the fact that, didn't I set it to, like, classic difficulty last time? I think this may be coming back to bite me.
I don't think anyone is home.
Anywhere.
Good day to you, Cyril.
How do, lass?
What do you make of Henry Long?
An idiot who thinks that station's a good idea.
Cyril, is there anybody you can describe where it wouldn't start with the words, an idiot?
Can you imagine? Strangers pouring into Bewley.
I mean, as a stranger who's come to Bewley, yeah, I can.
Turns the stomach, that does.
Homes are a lie made up by the carpenters to sell more houses. Like, the tradesman or the band?
Maybe he has a point. You could travel.
Yes, good answer, good answer.
You're an outsider. I'd expect you to have such a bad opinion.
This is just the phrase we start using when raiders come in and start not knowing what's going on.
But Henry, he's a Bewley lad. We've had the odd Barney or two in the pub over it all.
Translators noted Barney as a fight.
I can imagine.
Could I interest you in having a fight with him now?
Can I buy you a drink, Cyril?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Yes.
Go on then, lass.
Follow me.
Get both of you drunk. You fight about trains.
So then he turns around and says, "Why is a dog like a tree?" And I says, "I don't know."
Really? Because that's like the most obvious joke in the world.
And he says, "Because they both lose their bark once they're dead."
That's not really how trees work. Dead trees have bark? Right? That's a worse punchline? Correct.
Very droll, Cyril.
Wow. Is there a sicker burn for for a joke than very droll?
Well, it's been a pleasure, but I must be off.
Aye, lass. Ta for the drink. You're not too bad for an outsider.
Right? That's how I like to describe myself. Thomasina Bateman, not too bad for an outsider. Bark falls off pretty quickly, but they retain it for a while. Yeah, exactly. Whereas dead dogs stop barking almost immediately. So, your joke doesn't even make sense, Cyril.
Hello.
Good day.
Okay, but drink number 3, this time it's personal.
Can I buy you another drink?
I suppose one more ale won't hurt. I shall take you up on your offer, Miss Bateman.
Henry, I think you may have a problem.
Let us make our way.
But hey, I'm about to give you a new one.
To think, if that station hadn't been built, we would never have met. Blessed be the Midland Railway.
Wow, we're really going in on this.
Idiot!
There we go. Heckle.
That station is the worst decision this village has ever made.
Yes, good. Let them fight. .gif.
Cyril Farnaby. A miserable man with miserable ideas. I will change your mind even if it kills me.
It's no fix your hearts or die, but it's solid. The girls are fighting. Yep. I mean, you didn't need to finish that drink, Thomasina. But hey, you do you. You know what this scheme needs is a 3rd beer. Possibly 4th if we were also drinking with Cyril. Anyway, now let's break into the post office.
Locked. I need to get inside without attracting too much attention. He's currently debating the merits of the railway station at the inn.
Yes, I know. She's a good Northern English woman, no need to waste the beer. Again, I'm not sure anybody would necessarily call her Northern. Like, people from the South probably would, but yeah. Derbyshire is the Midlands. Yes, I know he's there. I just wanted you to, you know, break into his house. Can we smash this window with a trowel?
No, that won't work.
Why can't we smash this window with a trowel? Can we break the door with a trowel?
I don't think battering the door down is the solution here.
Isn't it?
I don't wish to draw too much attention.
Burn the door.
I'm not sure what that would achieve.
Burning the door.
No, that's not it.
Maybe break the back door? There isn't a back door. This is the only view on the post office I have. No obvious clues here.
A warehouse.
Yes, I know. Does this key miraculously also work on the door?
This key doesn't fit here.
Boo. Yeah, I don't think we can get to a back door. And there I was thinking distracting a man's would solve the problem. Has anybody got just a rock? Just want a rock. Anything in this alley? No. Just a good, solid rock for throwing with. Wally, do you know where I can find a rock?
Good day.
What if the children know how to sneak in? Yes. Solid shout.
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
Feels like something a child would know. What? Petty theft? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I heard he owns the whole county.
Have you met him?
No, he lives out on the moors somewhere. But everyone does what he tells them to.
Why's that?
Because he has a lot of money.
Goodbye.
Can't decide if you're sounding Scottish or Scouse there. So yeah, leaving there just takes us back into the crossroad in the woods. Right? Yeah. Oh no, it's just the road that's like, no, that just goes into the moors forever. You there, child. Do you know how to commit larceny?
Hello?
Yes?
What do you know about Lord
No?
Panswick?
Okay.
He gave me some sweets once. My friend says that Lord Panswick has special trees at his manor that grow sweets on their branches. You think that's true, miss?
No.
I think that's very unlikely.
Me too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Yeah, I mean, fruit trees kind of metaphorically do that.
Good day.
Hello, miss.
Oh,
What do you
okay,
know
what do you
about
know
Lord
about the local
Panswick?
landowner?
Not a lot. I know he's in charge around here.
Does he come to the village often?
Not really. He has a manor out on the moors.
Have you ever been there?
Heavens, no. Villagers aren't allowed there.
Why not?
Dunno. It's just the way it is.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
Okay. You there, blacksmith. Can I borrow a hammer?
Yes?
What can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
When looking single if you want a hint. Okay, yeah, thank you for looking. I will ask if I need something, but thank you.
His lordship commands much respect around here, lass.
Sounds like he commands everyone around here.
Keeps me busy with work. Why do you ask?
Just curious. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
There's not a separate interaction for, like, the hammer and anvil, because clearly that is just part of the man. Let's go back to the station. You already went looking and couldn't figure out how to keep Henry in the pub. Yeah, see, I can work out some things. Arthur, no, you just talk about Lord Panswick?
What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
Oh, you've heard of his lordship, then?
Yes. Do you know him?
Aye. He comes into the village from time to time.
You're just going to tell me the same things every time, aren't you?
Gives sweets to the children. Hires young men to work his land. He's well liked around here.
I sense some hesitation, Mr. Tillett.
Well, we kind of have an unspoken agreement with his lordship. He looks after us, provided we leave him alone.
The Lord is giving John Wayne Gacy vibes. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't follow.
He likes his privacy.
Yeah, he's definitely into some kind of dark magic.
Some people do.
No one is allowed to visit him.
Do you mean to say that he's a bit eccentric?
No.
An eccentric landowner in England, the concept.
I've heard people got fired at when approaching his manor uninvited.
I mean, that's still quite eccentric.
Good grief. But is this true?
Well, I won't be the one to find out.
Farewell for now.
Ta-ra!
Okay. Off to your day full of meetings. Well, have fun, or at least productive, and yeah, I'll see you later. Do I need to go and, like... Oh, there's a plaque here. What's that say? What is this building?
Beside the door reads Vicarage.
Interesting. So that's Papa Roach's house. Do I have to, like, steal a key off him or something while he's arguing?
These two are as stubborn as each other.
Okay, chat, I would not say no to that hint, but you know. Don't just spell it all out. I pick up the plaque and break the window with it.
Royal Mail. This must be the...
No, we've seen that. You were right about to ask a child. There's another child around here somewhere. Okay, thank you. We asked Betty and Douglas. And we talked to Wally and he didn't have anything to say about it.
The road
And then that just goes off into the moors. Yeah. Any childs in the church? Childs? That's not how plurals work. I mean, we did meet that little moor-dwelling girl. Maybe? Yes, it was out past the bench. All this nothing. Here's the Devil's Toe. Can I steal a stone?
What a peculiar name. The Devil's Toe. I can't quite see the resemblance myself.
Look, if men who look like a thumb can be a thing, pile of rocks that looks like a toe can be a thing. And here at Leonard's house, everything is the same. Let's see if I can remember where anything is. So, and then this road into the moors is just out to where the fairy ring is, yes. What if I pick them with gloves on?
I'm not sure what that...
I'll pick them up with a trowel.
No.
Fine. Tom Cena just doesn't like fun. at this crossroads, so this one just endless moorland, I'm guessing. Oh! You! I forgot you, out by the beck. Any opinion on the worm?
Wally took Myrtle.
Oh, right, yes, these two were brother and sister.
Pardon?
He took her and ran off. I hate him.
Is Myrtle one of your dolls?
No, it's a hamster, I don't know.
Yes,
Oh, okay, it's just a doll.
my favourite. Mummy made her for me. She's so beautiful. Wally is the worst brother in the whole world.
Okay, but, you know, he's on the other side of town, so he may as well be dead. Ever think about that?
Tell me more about the Ammon's Horn.
Daddy said we should never touch it. It will make the god angry.
What god?
You know, the god.
Ammon, of course.
Do we disabuse this child of her beliefs? I mean, it's Thomasina. She seems like exactly the kind of person who would.
Jane, this is a fossil.
It's a horn. What's a fossil, miss?
Ha ha ha! We have captured the curiosity of the child, and with that we will never be defeated.
A fossil is an impression of a prehistoric plant or animal embedded in rock and preserved in petrified form.
But we will do it sounding the most boring we possibly can.
This particular animal was called an ammonite.
I'm confused. It's not a horn?
No, it's the impression of a long-dead sea creature.
I am sorry?
Well, I believe my daddy. He doesn't lie to me.
Well, there are lies and then there are stories.
Your father is somewhat correct. For you see, Ammonites were given their name for the Egyptian god Ammon.
Which we wouldn't typically spell like that, but hey.
See, I told you. It's Ammon's horn. My daddy is always right.
Why did your brother take Myrtle away?
He's just jealous because Daddy is letting me come with him to the market tomorrow. Wally thinks I'm Daddy's favourite, so he took Myrtle from me. What if he rips her to tatters? What if he feeds her to Mr. Bryden's goat?
Don't worry, Jane. I'm sure he wouldn't do such a thing.
Really? Like, he's a child, and that sounds hilarious.
Where did your brother go?
I don't know.
I know.
Home, maybe. But I have to wait here for Myrtle's friends to dry out.
Have you heard of a place called Hobbs Barrow?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
You have?
We aren't supposed to talk about it.
I got that.
Why not?
Would you like to go there?
Yes.
I would very much like to.
I'll tell you where it is if you find Myrtle for me.
Deal.
You will?
Yes! But don't tell anyone about it or I'll be told off.
I promise.
Please find Myrtle first. I miss her.
I will. Where do you live?
Our home is
I
on the
know
other
this.
side of the village, miss. Maybe Wally went back there. Or maybe he's left her out on the moors. Poor Myrtle. I'm going to kick him so hard.
Yes. Let them
Goodbye.
Bye,
fight.
miss.
Okay. Progress is being made in some direction. And I love that for me. And I just went completely blank as to what that was for a second. Yeah, we're finding Wally. Yes. No, not this way. You there, child.
Good day.
Are you a thief?
Jane tells me you've taken Myrtle away.
And what if I did?
That's a bit mean, don't you think?
But funny.
She kicked me! Look at this bruise on my leg!
I can't. This
Does
is
look
pixel
quite
art.
Why
You-
did she kick you?
Your needs don't have nearly the resolution to show that up properly.
Because she's a little goblin?
What's wrong with that?
You don't know what she can be like! Besides, Myrtle is gone now. I've given her to the fair folk.
Okay, so now we go back to that fairy ring.
That'll teach her.
Who are the fair folk?
Ah, and here we get into the full ethnography. Take a seat, you'll be here a while.
The little people of the moors. I gave myrtle to them.
Little people? You don't mean fairies, do you?
We call them fair folk round here.
Because you're not meant to say the name. That's apotropaic.
Wally, there is no such thing as fairies.
Say again, this is literally your field of study, keep up. Yeah!
It's two, and I gave him a doll.
Goodbye.
Okay, so, where was that fairy ring again? Ah, brain. It's through here right and up, right? I should know. No, by the church right and up. It's up here, right? Yes. Ah, now there is something buried here. And now we use the trowel. And then a flashback. You know what? We can deal with this flashback in a minute. It's been an hour already. That's really quick. Time flies when you're bamboozling the locals. Yeah, so I will be back in a few minutes. Just need to run some ads. Once again, have a drink, have a snack. Tell someone you love them if it's true, and don't if it's not, because that's weird. Yeah. Enjoy whatever sunlight you may or may not have. And I will be back in a few minutes, if you can let the ads run, and we will get back into this flashback. Alright, love you all, see you in a few. And I'm back. Hello again. So, let's have this flashback to our childhood, shall we?
What happened the last time you left your dolly under the tree?
The Fae took it.
A fox ate it, madame.
Or that. I mean, what are foxes but aggressive Fae?
Yes, it did. Fetch it now, won't you? Then I'll fix
That scream.
Yes, madame.
Oh, you can tell we're living somewhere posh because we actually say madame. Oh, hey.
Hello, fairies.
There's a fairy ring over here. Hello, Thomasina.
Hello.
Just talk to the statuary, see what happens. Josephine.
There you are, Josephine. I won't let the foxes eat you.
I will fight a fox, for I am a small child.
Who's that you have there, little bird?
Is this my father pre-stroke?
Josephine. She introduced me to the fairies.
Oh, fairies, you say?
Yes, Daddy.
Do you believe in fairies?
Of course.
Ah, the innocence of youth.
Do you see those mushrooms over there?
Yes.
That's the gateway to their kingdom. That's where Josephine and I go to talk to the fairies.
Now, listen to me, Thomasina.
Yes?
You're old enough now to hear this.
Let's just ruin this child's innocence.
There's no such thing as fairies or talking dolls, my little bird.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, my dear child. I do not wish to upset you. I just want to make sure that you understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Josephine is just a doll, and fairies do not exist.
But, Daddy...
Our father, the Vulcan.
Science is the great antidote to the poison of enthusiasm and superstition.
Okay, I get the rest of that sentence, but why is enthusiasm there? I get science is the great antidote to superstition. I get where you're going with that. But no, science will also fix enthusiasm. Nobody is allowed to be enthusiastic because Vulcan.
Please always remember that. If you hear anything about fairies or the like again, know that it's hogwash.
Peddled by wash hogs.
What is it?
Hogwash peddled by wash hogs, Daddy.
Hogwash. Did Wally bury the doll, I wonder?
I mean, probably. And then we stepped into a hole in a fairy ring, and were never heard from again. Oh, impaled and buried.
This must be Jane's ragdoll.
And love the animation on those worms. Can I have a worm? Oh, the worm is also impaled.
You're coming with me, little fellow.
Am I? Really?
I shall name you Kenneth.
Really? Oh my god! Welcome to the party, Kenneth! Can I get more worm?
I've already taken one.
Fine.
Perhaps these wriggling worms are the fair folk young Wally was so fearful of.
No. I'm gonna go with no.
How strange. There is a hairpin pierced through the arm.
Oh, we're just now noticing that?
This may come in handy. I'll keep it.
Theft.
At least I shall not return from Bewley empty-handed.
Theft. I know who many of these things belong to, but not anymore. Right, let's find Jane again. Jane? Jean? One of these names. Started with a J. She was up from the crossroads this way, right? I think. Yes. Kenneth!
I present to you Myrtle.
Myrtle! I missed you so much.
That's the sign. That's the technical name for the mythical creature
I believe
that's
we had a deal.
half turtle, half fish. Is a myrtle.
Hide and seek.
Come back.
This child does not understand the contract we drew up.
It's in moments like these I thank myself for not having children.
Thanks, Thomasina. And still, the rest of her dolls?
They aren't mine to take.
No, but that's fine with everything else.
I can't pry the fossil from the rock with my bare hands.
No, with an attitude like that. What about with this hairpin?
The hairpin isn't strong enough to remove the fossil.
Didn't think it would be. Just wanted to see what would happen. What about with this trowel?
The trowel is too blunt to chip away at the rock.
What about... I'm out of ideas. Cool, now we have to find this child. Oh, that was easy.
Hey!
Yeah, just chase the fleeing ethereal child into the woods. A plan of action that has never gone badly for anyone ever. Do you think she might be in a hole? Also, that's a spectacularly creepy giggle you got there.
Jane! Get out of there!
You're gonna be eaten by the worm.
Don't make me come in. Fine.
That hole just really doesn't look that big.
Curses. The hole is too small for me to fit through.
But that's why we evolved to use tools.
I was always happiest with a trowel in my hand.
Do so many things with it.
Uncovering hidden worlds within the earth itself, clod by clod. That should do it.
We didn't animate this hole digging.
Jane!
This is a surprisingly
Jane?
deep hole.
Jane?
Let there be light.
Curses. The useless thing blew out.
Oh, and that just consumed the matchbox.
Jane! Come out this instant! I can't see a damned thing in here. I need a light source.
Okay, well, there's a candle in my room. Stop creepily giggling. I'm leaving. Using my teleportation powers to save us all some time. I totally get the atmospheric nature of letting her just walk on her own, but at the same time, I have a time limit for my stream.
The candle has melted. It's not much use anymore.
Huh. Okay.
I've stored my case in there. A box within a box.
Okay, but...
I've hung my side from...
Right, will the landlord give me a new candle? Please, my family is dying. Candle.
Can I please have a new candle for my room?
I'll go upstairs and replace it this evening.
Can I have one now?
It's not dark yet, Miss Bateman.
Can I have one?
Never mind. What can you
Wow.
tell me about Lord Panswick?
A most charming man, Miss Bateman. He looks after us here, a good fellow.
Where does he live?
Panswick Manor, on the moors. No visitors allowed. His lordship likes his privacy.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Okay. Apparently we notate candle. So... there's a lantern there.
Just like this. I have one just...
Do you? Where? Where do you have one just like this?
I can't think of anything else.
The lantern!
I have one just like this.
I know! Steal it with these gloves. No? What's Mrs. Fancy selling? Cake, that's it.
Hello, good day.
All I can talk about is Lord Panswick.
Lord Panswick.
Wretched man. They say he is restoring a chapel near his manor. But for whom and to what god, I ask?
Is he a man of faith?
I've barely seen him set foot in St. Edmund's.
Why would he need to? He's building his own church.
It doesn't stop him from acting as our god-given ruler.
I think what you're angry at there is in fact the English class system.
Stay away from him, pet. Don't get yourself tangled up in local affairs.
That's what I came here to do.
I certainly don't intend to.
Don't you?
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Are there candles in the church? There's usually candles in a church. Yes, there's candles in the church. I cannot steal the church candles. This game clearly wants me to get a very specific light source, and I'm not sure what. I have a hairpin, I have a worm. I have a trowel. I have little to no idea.
There's nothing else.
No.
Mr. Tillett.
Yes, I know. I was thinking you could go in there and start a fight. And he could hit on you some more. Those two things may happen in the other. But she has one just like it. What? Is it in her room? I swear I didn't see anything else in her room. Yeah, I thought that was just, I have one just like it, just in general.
I've stored a box.
Yeah, a box. She has other things than in her room. Yeah, it's in the crate in the post office. Okay, but then that takes us back to the original problem. I had assumed helping Jane would get me closer to getting into the post office, but we seem to be going the other way. But now I have a hairpin! Hairpin! Rarely used for anything.
A hairpin is much more than a hair accessory.
In games that isn't lockpicking. Ah, I see. Yes. Don't know why I saw a hairpin and didn't immediately think lockpick, because I've played a video game in my time.
A few wiggles and this lock should spring right open.
Hoping that it's a badly designed lock.
I've snapped the hairpin in the process, but I managed to unlock the door.
Got an achievement for it and all.
Let's open this envelope.
I have appropriated my stuff.
There's a note inside.
What did you think there'd be in the envelope? Drugs? Miss Bateman, I beg for your forgiveness. A matter of grave urgency has arisen in London, and I cannot join you in Bewley. Get back to your usual equipment, and pray you'll find local assistance in my absence. I look forward to seeing you upon your return. Yours faithfully, Kenneth Murdoch. I probably don't talk like this, but I do now.
How very frustrating.
So just, dear Thomasina, sorry there was a thing, love Kenneth.
I wonder what happened. I'd better get this to the alley before Mr. Long comes back. Moving a fully laden crate through the village square was no easy task.
And we're just gonna skip right past how we did it. Just the full-on Big Trouble in Little China. How'd you get that crate through the square? Wasn't easy. Not yours, not very faithfully. Yeah, faithfully yet unreliably.
Somehow, no one was there to witness it.
Yeah,
I didn't give up, because I never give up, do I, Mother?
No one was there to witness it, not even the camera.
I am as stubborn as my father, as you liked to remind me.
Why have we hidden it in the alley? Why couldn't we just get it to the door of the pub and then be like, hi, all the rest, you know I said all the rest of my stuff was coming, well, it's here, can I have a hand getting up the stairs? That would be a perfectly normal thing to do. just saying, Thomasina.
Where is my money? It's not in here. Kenneth, you absolute liability of a man.
I mean, this makes sense. It's the one thing adventure game protagonists can't really do is just have money to solve every problem. Why have money when you could use items?
It looks like everything else is in here. Picks, specimen trays, shovels. Oh, my chisel, I'll take that.
Gotta have a chisel. Ooh, now I can get a fossil.
It feels light. There mustn't be any oil inside. I'll leave the rest in the crate. Stanley assured me things would be safe here.
Do we trust Stanley? If you take it up to your room, that has a lock.
No money and no assistant. This is most inconvenient. Still, I've been in worse situations. I've got a tab at the inn for now. I'll worry about money later.
Because surely the only thing I could need is beer and food.
I must find that barrow and get on with the excavation.
Okay, so we need lantern oil, but we can get a fossil. And we could trade that to Mr. Crozier. Because we know the man collects fossils. We will incur the wrath of some local deity in doing so. But it'll be fine, because that's all hogwash for washhogs. This is the way to the back, right? Yes. Chisel. With fossil. Not sure what we're hitting the chisel with, because I don't think we picked up a hammer, but you know.
Splendid. I've managed to extract it in one piece.
Would be very funny if you'd just broken it after all this. Acquired. Fossil. Take to Mr. Crozier. deploy the incorrect emphasis. You there, blacksmith, would you like this old dead thing?
What do you make of this ammonite?
Or impression thereof.
Now then, 'tis a beauty that. It looks familiar.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No? Okay. Thought I had a thing. Didn't have a thing.
Looks like this.
Looks like the same make. Do you have more oil?
Good day.
Yes.
Yes, lantern. Talk of lantern.
I was wondering if you might be able to spare some lantern oil.
I don't have much to spare, lass. Paraffin is as rare as hen's teeth in these parts. How much coin do you have?
None.
None, I'm afraid.
If you're in a bind, I can trade you a small amount.
A trade, you say?
Love those.
Aye.
I have items.
What can I trade you for some lantern oil?
What about that fossil?
Surprise me.
Thanks for your...
Aye.
Cool. We had to propose the idea first.
Would you trade some of your paraffin for this fossilized ammonite, Mr. Crozier?
Now then, 'tis a beauty that. It looks familiar.
I say again, don't worry about it.
I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let me fetch some paraffin from inside.
Lovely.
There you are.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
Got an achievement for that. There's lots of achievements in this game. I'm never sure which ones are because I've gone off the beaten path and done something interesting and which ones are just progression. Okay, I should actually use paraffin with lantern.
My lantern is fueled and ready for action.
And we've lit it by...
Right, let's put this lantern to good use.
Don't love that I can hear my heartbeat. I hope that's my heartbeat. This hole is very large.
Jane, come out at once.
Do you know, I think it might not be Jane. Just a feeling. That's a badger. That is the badger, as they say. And then I was mauled by a badger and died.
Jane!
Ah, it was the badger giggling all along.
Silly, what are you doing in that smelly old badger's hole?
You were in there.
If I had a penny for every time I've been asked that question.
No, I weren't.
Yes, you were.
Not true. I was hiding behind that tree over there. I got bored of waiting for you.
So where can I find Hobbs Barrow?
Go north from the church graveyard, up the hill. You'll see some muddy fields on the horizon. That's Mr. Bryden's farm. Hobbs Barrow is there. Don't tell any grown-ups I told you. And thanks for getting Myrtle back.
My pleasure.
Progress.
Jane, you've been a great help.
So past where the fairy ring was. Squirrel is back. Squirrel is back. Okay, so through here. Through here, off and away. North from the graveyard. And go. Oh, now there's a raven sitting on the hole in the middle of the fairy ring.
Moors, with only the odd
Full
sheep
and
for
anonymous.
company, I reflected upon my visit to Bewley thus far.
Hasn't been great.
The enigmatic Mr. Shoulder and his puzzling disappearance.
Every time they don't mention him for just long enough for me to forget Leonard's shoulder.
The townsfolk of Bewley, who had made it as difficult as they could for me to find Hobbs Barrow. The suspicion, the wariness in their eyes. Only now I know it was actually fear.
You think? Did that come through on mic? That was the most dramatically timed thunderclap I have ever heard in my life. It came through on mic. Perfect. Love it. Actually fair. Amazing.
In the end, it was the innocence of a child, young Jane, that condemned me to my fate.
Ah, we're doing the whole after the end narration. Legit thought it was the game. I did for a second as well. But no, that would be too straightforward for this. Folk horror isn't dramatic thunderclap stings and obvious doom. It's the creeping uncanniness. And occasional close-ups of a badger. Hello there, farmer. Do you have a cursed burial mound on your property?
What do you want?
My name is Thomasina Bateman. Mr. Bryden, I presume.
Aye. What do you want, lass?
I understand Hobbs Barrow is located on your land.
Oh. Well, yes.
Okay, see. Oh yeah, that is coming through loud and clear on the mic levels. If the signal goes all screwy and the stream dies, you'll know what that is. It's so nice just getting a straightforward yes or no answer.
Why'd you ask?
I am an antiquarian, Mr. Bryden. I'm writing a volume on the Barrows of England.
Oh.
It'll be the fair folk. Yeah, well, you know. We deserve it.
I suppose you'll be wanting to dig about it.
If at all possible, Mr. Bryden. I was invited to Bewley by Mr. Leonard Shoulder, who told me such an excavation would be possible.
Leonard Shoulder?
That's not a name.
I haven't seen him in years.
Has anyone?
The last I heard, he were on death's door.
You've made your point, Weather.
There's to be no more digging there, lass. Not since it went so badly last time.
Tell me if they're going badly. Or of yourself.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Bryden.
I live here with my wife. And I might be long in tooth, but I can still run this farm without too much help.
Was there a previous excavation of Hobbs Barrow?
Aye. My brother dug it up. Must have been, what, 25 years ago? You see, whatever he found inside...
Again, that's such a Yorkshire phrasing of it, saying 25 year.
Well, it drove him mad.
Oh?
Aye. I moved back here to look after him. Poor bastard hanged himself not long after.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryden. That's terrible.
Aye. Time passes, but it were an awful thing.
What did your brother find?
Samuel. Samuel were his name.
Sorry, what did Samuel find in the barrow?
I don't know, but something went wrong. Afterward, he could barely speak. You couldn't make out a word, like.
That must have been hard.
He lost a hand in that excavation too, you know.
Ah, we'll be finding that later.
Goodness me, how?
I try hard not to speculate on what might have happened, lass. I'd see him disappear into that barrow, dragging timber in with him. You'd hear him hammering away for hours. I offered him help, but he'd have none of it. Soon enough, he blocked the entrance off. To look at it now, you'd never know the thing we dug up. The land has reclaimed it.
As it will one day us all.
Who else was involved in the excavation?
2 others, I believe. Outsiders, perhaps. I can't say for sure. I think they left town pretty swiftly afterwards. I lived in Bakewell at the time. I only moved back here to look after Samuel. I took over the farm when he passed away.
I see. What can you tell me about your farm?
Just ask all the questions.
Samuel's fair to side. We're a fortunate family. The soil is fertile here. Crops grow without too much trouble. All the other farmers round here raise livestock, even Lord Panswick. We grow feed for him.
Most fortunate, Mr. Bryden. Is your wife home?
She's out in fields, lass. Pulling weeds. The curse of such fertile soil. 40 years we've been married. I couldn't do it without her, you see.
How splendid.
Aye, my wife is a fine woman.
Never mess with Yorkshire farmers' wives.
Are you married, lass?
No.
Do I look like I'm married? If I was married in this era, would I be up in Yorkshire investigating things man should not know?
I've had my fair share of proposals, Mr. Bryden, but that's not the life for me.
Marriage is an important institution. You'll find a man one day.
Good answer.
I manage rather well without one, Mr. Bryden. You haven't seen Mr. Shoulder for some time?
I hear about him now and then, but it must be a good few years since I set eyes on him.
He hasn't been here to visit Hobbs Barrow?
Not to my knowledge. I heard he's beset by ailments.
I mean, are we not all? Changing my personal cards to say that, just beset by ailments.
Don't leave his home often.
It's just my new status.
How odd. I assumed he'd spoken to you about my visit.
Not at all.
What can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
He keeps us going. Most of our crops go to feed his animals.
What is he like?
Oh, I've hardly laid eyes on him. He sends his workers here to pick up the crops.
I see. You say Mr. Shoulder is at death's door. What exactly ails him?
Oh, you know, ailments. His agonies.
I'm unsure. It's just what I've heard. I wouldn't want to speculate on matters that are not my business.
Okay, but can we do the thing we came here for?
Mr. Bryden, may I please have your permission to excavate Hobbs Barrow?
No. Have you not been listening, lass? Samuel found something in there that's best left to rot.
This storm is really giving it some outside.
No digging here, lass.
Comply, but do it anyway. Be stubborn or wheedle. Let's wheedle.
Wouldn't you like to find out more about what Samuel found in there?
Perhaps. But Samuel boarded up that barrow for a reason.
I mean, you'd already said he'd gone mad at that point, so how'd you know it was a good reason?
You don't want to tempt the same fate, lass.
Oh, you watch me.
Perhaps I can at least see Hobbs Barrow.
I suppose you've come a long way to be here, lass.
All the way from London, Mr. Bryden.
Have you any proof of all you've told me?
I wish to see proof of what, Mr. Bryden?
I can't let any Tom, Dick or Harry wander around me fields. What proof have you of your claims?
Oh, I mean, I've got these letters. I brought with me the invitation.
Here is proof that Mr. Shoulder invited me to Bewley in order to excavate Hobbs Barrow.
Leonard making bold promises, I see.
Seriously, I cannot remember the last time we had a storm this noisy. It would happen when I'm back streaming, wouldn't it?
Don't make me regret this. But yes, you can have a look at it.
Yes, the plan works.
Thank you.
Any road. Once you've set your eyes on it, you won't be wanting outdo with it.
You haven't met many adventurers, have you? Any updates? Welcome back, Emily. We've been menaced by a badger. But we've found out where Hobbs Barrow is. And we're about to go look at it. But we're not allowed to excavate it at the minute because this farmer's brother did so 25 years ago and it drove him mad. Video out of sync with audio, oh no.
The place gives one a queer feeling.
Yes, we had to go and find doll for a child, and she told us where it was. Also, we got all our stuff back and picked a lock. And we adopted a worm, and his name is Kenneth. Because human Kenneth did not turn up.
Through that gate to your left.
There, I'd sound like I'm just riffing, but no, that is a thing that happened in the game.
Just head straight across the top to the field there. After 10 minutes or so, you'll see Barrow, set on a hill ahead.
Thank you again, Mr. Bryden. I really do appreciate it.
And away we go. Trudging through the field, singing the trudging song. Here's a rock.
I should have brought my umbrella.
Yes, you should. R.
A-R. I haven't a clue what that could be referring to.
You are the worst archaeologist. Just saying.
Finally, here it is. Hobbs Barrow.
Just the idea of Thomasin standing there just like,
Indeed, a barrow of a most unusual rectangular form.
Well, back to London.
I've not seen something like this since West Kennet Long Barrow.
And we all remember how that ended.
Yes, this shall make a fine entry for my book. What secrets do you conceal, I wonder?
Okay.
That smell. Earthy and sweet.
I mean, of course it's earthy. It's soil. Achievement unlocked for poking Hobbs Barrow. And now we have a flashback.
3, 2, 1.
My brother dug into a grave and it drove him mad. Science protagonist. A grave that hasn't been successfully excavated, you say? Yep.
You can open your eyes now, Thomasina.
Remember the last time we played hide and seek and we probably weren't menaced by a badger? Oh no, we're not playing hide and seek. Or he's really bad at it.
Yes, Daddy.
Capital. Make sure you remember everything I've taught you. I have a feeling you might find something special.
Because I just buried it for you.
How exciting.
I'll be watching from the steps, my little bird. Good luck.
Thank you, Daddy.
Is that a trowel at the base of the statue I spy? Yes, it is.
Now I'm ready.
Take on the world with my trowel. There's a mound of dirt there. Because really, what you want to do here
Nothing here.
is train your children to dig up the flower beds. Why do I get the feeling our mother was not involved in this particular discussion?
No treasures here.
I was promised treasures, damn it! Husband's niece and nephew dug random holes in the yard so the husband could put plants there. Yeah, like, if you're, like, digging for something and not just randomly digging up the flower beds. Sure. I mean, I suppose we could just be about to put new plants in these holes anyway. I thought that was a hat! I thought you just dug it up and just about to...
Look.
Well done, little bird. Your first successful excavation. That urn you're holding is very old and precious.
And if you'd broken it with your trowel, it would have been quite funny.
Take good care of it, all right?
I will, Daddy. I promise.
crying about the excavation flashback.
I do have a feeling there is something exceptional to be discovered here.
Is that 'cause it's in the title of the game?
I must gain Mr. Bryden's permission to excavate.
I mean, what if we just did it anyway?
In good time.
No? Okay. Wow. Can I not take this stone? Arr. No? Okay. Trudging through the fields in the evening, singing the evening transposition of the trudging song.
Darkness falls quickly here. I should make my way back to the inn.
Of course darkness falls quickly. Did you see how hard it was to find a light source?
I shouldn't disturb him at this late hour.
It'd be funny. What if we just stole his stuff?
This is not mine to take.
Yes, that's why I called it stealing. There's a goat.
I don't wish to risk waking it up.
Oh. Fine, I guess I'll go home. Remember my way around. Mrs. Duplancy is gone. Oh no, menacing country fog. Somebody in this building now. I don't think there's no one here. There's a light on. I'm seeing that. Come on. There are clearly people upstairs in the shoe shop. My favourite Yazoo album. Everybody's in the pub, 'cause it's evening and that's when we go to the pub. Hello,
I
Herbert.
don't wish to wake him up.
Again, be funny. Cyril's still here.
Hello again, Cyril.
You're still here?
So are you, I just said that.
Did Mr. Long convince you of the virtues of Bewley Station?
I doubt it.
What the hell do you think?
Just said I doubt it.
Now bugger off and leave me to me drink.
Lovely man.
He seems even more wound up than usual.
Yeah.
Time for bed.
Time for bed. It's been a day.
Tomorrow I shall convince Mr. Bryden to allow me to begin my excavation.
Will we though?
Miss Bateman.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, it's Arthur. Hello.
Tired.
Gonna buy you a drink?
Tired. Shouldn't you stop drinking so much for the man's health? You know, that sounds like the kind of thing Thomasina will say. But, information.
One won't
Sure.
hurt.
Excellent.
Let us drink
I feel
the cheap
bad
beer.
about what happened last night. I'm sorry I can't remember it.
That's all right, Mr. Tillett. Alcohol can do all sorts of damage to one's memory.
It's fine, you were blind drunk.
I was thinking that maybe if we had another drink tonight, I might remember what happened.
Not generally how it works.
I'm not sure that's logical.
Just add more beer.
But worth trying?
I don't need any further convincing.
Take your seat, Miss Bateman. I shall return.
Am I being come on to? I mean, he's buying, so that's nice at least.
To Leonard's shoulder.
Wherever he may be.
This is where I keep my Leonards. It's my Leonard's holder.
Yes?
Why did Leonard Shoulder ask you to dig up Hobbs Barrow?
Seemed like fun.
Despite his disappearing act the previous evening, not to mention his questionable sobriety, I decided Mr. Tillett was to be my ally.
A decision that will in no way come back to bite me.
I spoke again of Mr. Shoulder's letter, his proposed excavation, and my status as an antiquarian and barrow digger. He was fascinated and quite excited at the prospect of meeting the soon-to-be author of a real-life book.
Doesn't matter what it's book on.
Find all manner of riches on your digs.
Just an book.
Barrow digging is not all success, Mr. Tillett.
To be fair, actually, yeah. Whatever it's about, having written an book is impressive. Yeah. Just thinking of people I know who have written a book, and, like, yeah, I am genuinely impressed. So, that point made, I suppose.
Often I'll come across the likeliest of sights steeped in promise. We set to work with shovel and pick and all the other barrow opening paraphernalia you can imagine.
But not grave robbing. Grave robbing, important distinction.
Every stone carefully taken down, every shovel full of earth put dutifully through the sieve, and we find nothing. Or you may find a miserable remnant of animal bone or a shard of pottery hardly to be recognized from the peat in which it decayed. Sometimes it's as if some Neolithic humorist prepared an elaborate practical joke for your special benefit.
I got very confused there about the timeline because I saw Neolithic and read Netflix. Is that what this is? This is all some elaborate practical joke show for Netflix?
It still sounds much more exciting than spending your days sitting in England's most remote railway station.
Are you all right, Mr. Tillett?
I've had another argument with Agnes.
And that's why I'm in this pub, coming on to you, weirdly.
Your wife?
Aye. She didn't want me coming to the plough tonight.
And yet, here you sit.
Truth is, I've been drinking my life away since my mother passed.
Okay, at least you're aware of it. That's step one.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry for your loss.
You're kind, Miss Bateman. Thank you. It's been a year since the old girl left us. She had a horrible end.
But a nice one, too. It just depended which side you approached her from.
Wasting away, day by day. Consumption got her. She was naught but bones by the end. I can't get the image out of my mind.
I very much didn't ask.
I'm so sorry.
I apologise for going on, Miss Bateman. It's not appropriate.
It's fine, but you are just trauma dumping on me here.
Don't worry, Mr. Tillett. I appreciate your openness.
But apparently she's cool with that.
Used to love going for walks out in the moor, my mother and I. Ever since I were a little one. She'd get a tear in her eye as she looked out upon it. She loved this land. I asked Mr. Crozier to build a bench, which we've erected at her favourite lookout spot on the moors.
Ah, yes, I have sat there.
Margaret's Lookout, we called it. Aye.
That's a beautiful tribute.
Aye. If you take a seat there, do keep her in your thoughts, won't you?
I mean, I couldn't last time, given that she hadn't yet entered my thoughts, but sure.
Of course, Mr. Tillett. I can relate in some manner. My father had an accident when I was very young. He's still alive, but he can neither move nor speak.
Oh, still? Okay.
He spends his entire life bedbound and incapable of communicating or looking after himself in any way.
How dreadful.
He was a barrow digger himself, an antiquarian of some renown.
And that man's name was Indiana Jones.
He taught me so much, even though I was so young. I think writing this book is my way of carrying on his work. It helps me reclaim those earlier memories of him, and I visit him often to tell him all about my excavations.
Can he hear you?
I've no idea. The doctors aren't sure. I'd do anything to make him better, Mr. Tillett. I'd do anything to bring him back to the man he was.
When you're already in a folk magic milieu, that's a dangerous thing to say.
I am in a state of suspended mourning for a man caught between life and death.
Dreadful. Just dreadful.
Just leading anything with I'd do anything when you are in Fey country. Bad idea. 1 second, audio will cut out for a moment. Yeah, this touches on some very real places.
We all have our weaknesses. Mine just happens to be my father.
Is it a weakness? That you care about your permanently hospitalized dad? Is that what we're calling that?
And what of your mother? mother?
A cold woman. We haven't talked in quite some time. I think she blamed me for my father's accident somehow.
You were but a child.
Indeed.
Yeah, but we're probably going to get some kind of traumatic flashback that will reveal we were in some way responsible, aren't we?
She thus saw it fit that a governess should raise me as she spent her life grieving for my father.
Well then, I propose a toast.
A toast to what?
A shared sense of loss.
Is this loss?
I'll toast to that, Arthur. Now then, enough of this wallowing.
Let us be merry. Another round.
I really shouldn't.
And yet.
But I did. And another after that. And another.
I said have a drink with him, not get utterly lashed with him.
The frustrations of my visit to Bewley slipped away with each swill of Stanley's finest ale. We had great fun that night, Mr. Tillett and I.
The man is married. I really shouldn't because you have no money. Hey, Arthur was paying. I can't argue with that part.
I treasure the memory.
Go on then.
I treasure the memory. Well, that's ominous. All of this narration is clearly written from just this side of death.
Mustn't.
Sing the song.
Sing the song. 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 Song.
You're incorrigible.
Please. You'll make a sad man happy.
Oh, all right then.
Oh, is this going to get us muted on the VOD? Let's see.
Clasps, celts, and arrowheads I'll try to claw within my clutch, and if a shield I should espy, I'll vow there ne'er was such.
And the timing of this is going to get really weird because I'm still having to click between dialogue.
With popish tricks and relics rare, the priests their flocks do gull. In casting out the earth take care.
Just a drive-by on Catholics there.
Huzzah! I've found a skull.
Well, that's an archaeology song, sure. We're asleep, nothing bad will happen, right? Oh, that's not a good colour for the sky, just gonna say it. I do not care for these pink skies, and you may quote me on that. Hello, Petrigan. Ew.
Hello, Thomasina.
Oh, hello, Dream Arthur. You're much more of a homunculus in my dreams.
What is this? Who are you?
I'm the one that saved your father.
What do you mean?
You were here 25 years ago.
Ah, that makes sense.
My father?
Yeah, well, I mean, he said there were two other kind of outsider antiquarian types, and he was the antiquarian type from outside.
You were deep down with the others. You were there, and something went wrong. I dragged him out.
Impossible.
I helped him then, and I can help him again.
I don't understand.
Believe my words. You'll find proof in morning. Now go. One more thing. This is not a dream.
Did we find a Fae? Yeah, I think this is the Fae folk talking to us in our sleep. We finished a day! Second day ex Piscor. Latin? What's that? Is that I am redeemed?
Goodness, that was a terrible sleep.
I should know what Expisci is. It's not to fish. There's a book on the floor. Yes, but this is ex-Piscor. Okay. Oh, right, so it's, yes, it's I fish out, as in information. Okay, yeah. So it's just Thomasina finds out. First day, Thomasina F's around. But day 2, we'll have to wait for day Thurs. Those were words I could say. Cool. Because, yes, we have come to the end of our time. Day Thur, my favourite Viking. Yeah. Spelled with a thorn. Yeah. This is the end of our time together here in the House of Hubris today. Thanks for everyone who's watched. Thanks for staying to the end. Means a lot. If you've been watching, you know where to find me. But just in case, this is twitch.tv/Serasent. That's SERASENT. Yeah, streaming here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 o'clock. In theory. The schedule has been a little floaty because life has just kept happening. But I'm trying to get back to schedule, is my point. 2 o'clock British time, that is 9 AM Eastern, 6 Pacific. Other time zones are available. And hey, if you want to know when I'm around, because as I say, the schedule can get a bit fuzzy, you can give us a follow. Lets you know whenever I'm around. Or if you do miss anything, you can go to the YouTube. Link is down there, or it is youtube.com/@houseofhubris, where you can find everything going back to the start of the channel, up until a couple of weeks ago. That will be there soon. It's over 2 years of content, lots of games, so check it out. You'll find something you enjoy, and if you don't, let me know what it would be. If you want to support me getting menaced by a badger monetarily, then you can, of course, cheer or subscribe on Twitch, but you very much don't need to. Just turn up and hang out and be cool and be good to each other, then everyone's having a good time. Good to know that even the Romans used the phrase fishing for information. Yeah. It's always interesting seeing what idioms are just like, no, people have been saying this for thousands of years, because it's just a fairly self-explanatory metaphor. I think that's all the wrap-up. Yeah. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, for those of you who don't know, it is the best week of the year right now. That is Eurovision is happening tonight, and again Thursday night and Saturday night. So follow me on. I didn't plug the Twitter. If you want to hear me talking a lot about Eurovision at the minute and just generally posting memes and stream updates and stuff, otherwise check out the Twitter because I'm still there for whatever reason. Again, link is down there, or that is Twitter @House of Hubris. So yeah. I think that's everything. I have to go and get ready to get overly hype about weird music and tweet a lot. So, I will say again, thank you all for being here, love you all, and I will see you again on Thursday, when we will actually get into this Barrow, ? We found it this time. Progress keeps on happening. Alright, love you all, see you then.